Tanahk only sessions. Wakandra. Let's take a drift down the Nile, man. Or is it the Mississippi, man? Hey, HAWAH. I know you're feeling it, man. You're feeling that anticipation. You used to be feeling anxious, man. We used to be feeling anxious. Now we feeling anticipation. We know our time is near, man. Time to see crystal clear again. Take a deep breath, man. How we reeling? How we reeling? The book of Isaiah, chapter 10. We're going to take this joy ride together, man. Just shout out to Jesse Wah with this great drift, man. We're going to let it keep drifting, man. How about that? Isaiah, chapter 10. And just meditate on how much this correlates when we talk Assyria to this Donald Trumpism, man. It's a lot going on. Don't be distracted by the so-called Middle East puppet show. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and to the writers that write iniquity, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right of the poor of my people. That widows may be their spoil, and that they may make the fatherless their prey. And what will you do in the day of visitation? And in the ruin which shall come from afar? To whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your glory? They can do naught except crouch under the captives and fall under the slain. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. O Asher, the rod of my anger, in whose hand as a staff is my indignation. I do send him against an ungodly nation, and against the people of my wrath do I give him a charge, to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mere of the streets. That word mere is like, it's like more. Come. We gonna get to the Moabites real soon. To tread them down like the mere of the streets. Albeit he meaneth not so, neither does his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and to cut off nations, not a few. For he says, are not my princes all of them kings? Is not Kano as Karshemish? Is not Hamath as Arpad? Is not Samaria as Damascus? As my hand has reached the kingdoms of the idols, whose graven images did exceed them of Jerusalem and of Samaria. Remember, it's all about the idols. Shall I not, as I have done unto Samaria and her idols, so do to Jerusalem and her idols? What's rule number one? Most High over everything, boss. Wherefore it shall come to pass that when HAWAH has performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the arrogant heart of the king of Assyria and the glory of his haughty looks. For he has said, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, in that I have removed the bounds of the people, and have robbed their treasures, and have brought down as one mighty the inhabitants, and in my hand had found as a nest the riches of the people, and as one gathereth eggs that are forsaken, have I gathered all the earth, and there was none that moved the wing, or that opened mouth or chirped. Should the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith, man? I love HAWAH. Gotta love HAWAH. Makes it real simple, real plain. I'm using you, not the other way around. I'm using you, Assyria. I'm using you, Persia. I'm using you, Babylon, not the other way around. Should the axe boast itself against him that holds it, man? I hold the axe. You're the axe that I hold. Should the saw magnify itself against him that moves it, man? As if a rod should move them that lift it up, or as if a staff should lift up him that is not wood. Therefore will HAWAH of hosts, send among his fat ones leanness, and under his glory there shall be kindled a burning like the burning of fire. And the light of Israel shall be for a fire, and his Holy One for a flame. And it shall burn and devour his thorns and his briars in one day, and the glory of his forest and of his fruitful field he will consume both soul and body. And it shall be as when a sick man wastes away, and the remnant of the trees of his forest shall be few. What happened to the trees? What happened to the trees? The remnant of the trees shall be few, that a child may write them down. Whoa. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and they that are escaped of the house of HAWAH shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon HAWAH, the Holy One of Israel in truth. A remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, upon unto HAWAH the mighty. For though your people, O Israel, be as the sand of the sea, only a remnant of them shall return. This is not a hypothetical remnant. Remember, they want us to be washed out, washed away, mixed up. They say we all mixed up. Then how is there a remnant? This ain't spiritual Israel. This is the house of HAWAH, Jacob. This is the remnant of HAWAH. Energy, frequency, vibration. You think HAWAH's gonna allow just ultimate mixing? You think they intercepted every Naga seed that goes into a Naga queen womb and forms a Naga child and say this child is mixed? Mixed out? Nah, this child is pedigree. Only a remnant of them shall return. And extermination is determined, overflowing with righteousness, for an extermination wholly determined. Shall HAWAH of hosts, make in the midst of all the earth. Therefore, thus says HAWAH of hosts, O my people that dwell in Zion. Be not afraid of Donald Trump and him. Be not afraid of the United States of so-called America. You are the Amaru Khan. Be not afraid of Asher, though he smite you with a rod and lift up his staff against you after the manner of Egypt, for yet a very little while, and the indignation shall be accomplished. It's almost over, my Nagas. It's almost over, man. Matter of fact, it's over, my Nagas. We declare it's over. We speak it. We pray it. We ask HAWAH, how much longer shall we endure? HAWAH responds, how many more idols you got left, Khan? How many more times you walking in them churches, them so-called temples, them mosques? How many times you gonna neglect my Shabbat? Put a power before your power. Kill your brother. Steal from your brother. Covet your brother, your sister's house. How much longer shall I endure? HAWAH responds. Verse 26, and HAWAH of hosts shall stir up against him a scourge as in the slaughter of Midian at the rock of Oreb. And as his rod was over the sea, so shall he lift it up after the manner of Egypt. Remember, Egypt means bondage. Verse 27, and it shall come to pass in that day that his burden shall depart from off thy shoulder, and his yoke from off thy neck, and the yoke shall be destroyed by reasons of fatness. Woo! 2026, 70th Great Jubilee, when all the slaves are free out of captivity. Yeah, his burden shall depart from off your shoulder, Khan, and his yoke from off your neck, Khan, and the yoke shall be destroyed, Khan. Jeremiah 30. Yeah. Jacob's trouble, but out of it he shall be saved, and it shall come to pass in that day, says HAWAH of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off your neck bone. Verses on verses, precepts on precepts. But who determines the precepts? I think the Holy One. I think Big Mama, who they call wisdom, Ama. Somebody left a comment, they said, how dare you call wisdom Big Mama? kid y'all not, man. This is not play. He said, how dare you call wisdom, lady wisdom, big mama? I said, you must not be from a Naga house. Big mama is the greatest salutation of respect we can give a queen. If a Naga call you big mama, big mama, she running the house point blank period, man. Big shit, you getting smacked in your head if you disrespect big mama. How dare you call big mama? That's disrespectful. Big mama? Big mama? Shit. You better obey, man. You better read Proverbs chapter 8 and get back to us. Yeah. I will break his yoke from off your neck and will burst your bands, and strangers shall no more make you their bondman, their slave, and they shall serve HAWAH. Here we go again. And David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Jesus. Christians say, Jesus. Nah, David. Nah, David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Gosh. Isaiah chapter 10. Verse 27, and it shall come to pass in that day that his burden shall depart from off your shoulder, and his yoke from off your neck. And the yoke shall be destroyed by reason of fatness. He is come to Aith, he is passed through Migron. At Michmas he layeth up his baggage. They are gone over the pass. They have taken up their lodging at Geba. Ramah trembleth. Gebeth Shaw is fled. Cry thou with a shrill voice, O daughter of Galim. Hearken, O Laish. O thou poor Anathoth. Whoa. Dodge to hijack. Yeah, I see why they're getting jammed up by the Creator now. Mad Menah is a mad flight. The inhabitants of Gibim flee to cover. This very day he halt at Nob, shaking his hand at the mountain of the daughter of Zion, the hill of HAWAH, Jerusalem. Behold, HAWAH of hosts, shall lop the bows with terror, and the high ones of stature shall be hewn down, and the lofty shall be laid low, and he shall cut down the thickets of the forest with iron. Then they say, Jesus gonna come with the rod of iron. Revelation. They're getting everything from our prophets. Isaiah, Ezekiel, Daniel. Shall I continue, man? And Lebanon shall fall by a mighty one. Lebanon. We talking Middle East, man. We talking the Middle East. Isaiah chapter 11. And there shall come forth a shoot out of the stock of Jesse. Now who came out the loins of Jesse? Precepts on precepts. And David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. See, this is a prophecy of a shoot out the loins of Jesse, who will be raised up. Future tense, prophet, prophetic. There shall come forth. We're not talking about 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 2 Samuel, 1 Samuel, Saul and David, in that lifetime. David had 70 years. These prophets are prophesying about a future time, a soul transfer, if you will. shall come forth a shoot out of the stock of Jesse. Remember, Jesse was one of the sinless men, right? Oh, man. I mean, you could do this with me. Chileab. Why don't y'all help me, man? Chileab? Chileab, also known as Daniel. Yeah, the book of Daniel was written by Chileab. The book of Daniel, where they hijack Revelation, is written by Chileab, second son of King David. So him hijacking all the noble princes, he's hijacking the sons of David. He was David's son with his second wife Abigail, widow of Nabal the Carmelite, and is mentioned in 1 Chronicles 3, 2 Samuel 3, unlike the other David's 3 elder sons, Amnon, Absalom, and Adonijah, who were important characters in 2 Samuel. Chileab, for some reason, is only named in the list of David's sons, and no further mention is made of him. Hijack city, canonical versions, Though being the second son, Chileab was not a contender for the throne of Israel. Daniel, right? Even after the death of the firstborn Amnon, the thirdborn Absalom, and fourthborn Adonijah, he may have died before his father. Later, rabbinic traditions name him as one of the 4 Israelites who died without sin. So Daniel was the perfection of his father. One of the 4 ancient Israelites who died without sin. Sounds like Jesus. Jesus was a sinless man. Christians, please, we have 4 sinless men, at least. The other being Benjamin, Jesse, father of David. It's always funny how if you reverse this S and E at the end, you get Jesus. Phantoms, duplications. This is a sinless noggin that gave birth to David, who they tried to put the murder on. Hey, go get Prester John number such and such, man. We talked about freeing David of the accused crime of murder. We compared that with, the Tamar flow, right? The King of Georgia flow, the Uriah flow, and Prince Uri flow, and the phantom duplication of this Uriel or Uriah and this Uri, Prince Uri, David Soslan flow. So look up Queen Tamar, David Soslan, and Prince Uri, Yuri, and get back to me. And compare it with the Uriah mighty man flow. But in this saga, in the Russian tales, with this King David Soslan, son of Prester John, Prince Uri was trying to take over Queen Tamar, was trying to form a military coup, and she went and got assistance from King David Soslan. Soslan means the one with the menacing look, like the one with the fiery glance, like the dragon. She went and got David's help to fight against Uri. But in the Bible, Uri, is this perfect mighty man who was taken advantage of, and his wife Bathsheba was stolen. and he was sent to the front lines of war. Nah, he was trying to take over. Queen Sheba, Queen Khalifa, Queen Tamar. Different titles for the same queen. Bathsheba, the Sheba title, has always been a title for our queens. Sheba is Shambhala. Shalak, man. I'm still getting 100% over here, man. This Cadmus they spray. Dragon Slayer. They trying to slay the dragon. Yeah, Bathsheba is Shambhala, daughter of the seven, daughter of the oath. Sheba is Khalifa, is Queen Tamar. Married to David. David Sauceland, the one that went head up with Genghis Khan. Right here in Tangu in America, right? So later rabbinic traditions name him as one of the 4 ancient Israelites who died without sin: Benjamin, Jesse, and Amram, father of Moses. Daluya is Chileab, is David. His name translates to perfection of the Father, because HAWAH arranged that Chileab would resemble David. So when we talk Jesse, we're talking about a sinless man, sinless naga. And a twig shall grow forth out of his roots. The roots of Jesse is David. Shall grow forth out of his roots, whom I will raise up, grow forth, raise up, grow forth, raise up unto them. Grow forth. Out of his roots, raise up. And the Ruach of HAWAH shall rest upon him, and the Ruach of wisdom and understanding. He got Big Mama, and the Ruach of counsel and might, and the Ruach of knowledge and of the fear of HAWAH, or the obedience. These translators put fear everywhere. They add to the fear spell, but really, you don't want your children to fear you. You want your children just to obey, to listen, to hearken. This is not a fearful thing. But you sure do, fear the retribution or the repercussion of being out of code with Big Mama, with Big Pops, you know what I'm saying? They might have to shake your ass up. So, they don't want you to fear them, but they do want you to respect, right? So, when you see fear, you can always think about respect, obedience. Verse 3, and his delight shall be in the fear or the obedience of HAWAH. Your parents don't delight if you fear them. Your parents delight if you respect, right? If you show, good nature, man, right? And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither decide after the hearing of his ears, but with righteousness, which we still talking David. He shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, but with righteousness. We're still talking about the shoot out of Jesse, growing forth out of its roots, whom I will raise up unto them. David, their king. Son of Jesse. One of the 4 ancient Israelites who died with us. And with Daniel, they didn't know After David married Abigail, if she was pregnant through David or her first husband, because she was a widow. So HAWAH arranged that Chileab would resemble David perfectly. It is possible his name Chileab, which can be translated perfection of the father, is a reference to that legend or the cause of that legend. So when Nebuchadnezzar, kidnapped Daniel in them, he kidnapped the perfection of David. So he raised Daniel up to high station, because Daniel resembled David, son of the sinless man, Jesse. And David is the one shepherd forever, whom I will raise up, grow forth out of his roots. Right? And the spirit of HAWAH rests upon him. And the spirit of wisdom, that's mama. Read Proverbs 8 and get back to us. She says, I am wisdom. I am understanding. The spirit of counsel and might. All this is mama. She says, I am knowledge. Power is mine. These are my ways, right? So Big Mama, Amma, rest with David. And his delight shall be in the obedience of the law, right? Her ways of the Creator. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither decide after the hearing of his ears. So not just with the senses is he judging, he's judging with that ruach of righteousness. Shall he judge the poor and decide the equity for the meek of the land, and he shall smite the land with the rod of his mouth. They say Jesus gonna come back rule with the rod of David is ruling with the rod of his mouth. The speech, the vibration, the breath. Big Mama is the breath. Breathe into these dry bones, Ezekiel 37. Oh, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. Yeah, that's Mama. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. And the wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the shepherd shall lie down with the kid. And the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and the little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear feed their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp. And the wild beast shall come from the wood and serve men, and the asp and dragons will come out of their holes to subject themselves to a child. Right. And the child shall play on the hole of the asp. And the asp and the dragons will come out of their holes to subject themselves to a child. 2 Baruch 73. Precepts on precepts, God. Man, I can't make this up, man. Allah, wow. And the child shall play on the hole of the asp. And the asp and dragons will come out their holes to subject themselves to a child. And the winged child shall put his hand on the basilisk den, the dragon's den. They want to say basilisk, but when you get into these translations and lexicons, it's just going to lead you back to dragons, the asp and dragons. subject themselves to the children of HaSharah, Israel. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of HAWAH, as the waters cover the sea. And it shall come to pass in that day that the root of Jesse, that stands for an ensign, a sign, where X marks the spot, right? What's the tau mean? A mark, an ensign. An ensign is a signal. An ensign is a monument. An ensign is the two cross sticks of Ezekiel 37 coming together again for the northern tribes and for the southern tribes to be one tribe, one vibe. That's the tau. That's what we stand on. Where wisdom, Amah, is the conqueror of fortune. I'm just talking about the tribes of Israel. I'm just talking about you, my nigga. The root of Jesse, David, stands on this sign. But they put Jesus on the sign. They put Jesus on the ensign. But the root of Jesse stands on this sign. And last time I checked, Jesus was an immaculate conception. He is now what you call that? He is now disqualified from being a root of Jesse if he is an immaculate conception, born of a virgin, you know. He's not son of David, and he damn sure ain't the root of Jesse. Unto him shall the nations speak. Ezekiel 37, one shepherd forever, David. And his resting place shall be glorious, and it shall come to pass in that day that HAWAH will set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. Not the fake remnant, not the spiritual remnant. The bloodline Nagas. The DNA original American and India superior that shall remain from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Kush and from Elan and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. What? The islands of the sea sure sound like doomed diverses to me. 'Cause he doth possess these islands, harbors and seas, to give them to the Hijacks successors. Yeah. I mean descendants. Stolen from the copper-colored races found here. The Amaru Khan means priest in the Hebrew. And he will set up an ensign for the nations, and will assemble the dispersed of HaSharah, and gather together the scattered of Judah, and from the four corners of the earth. It's amazing they call Utah, you know, the four corners, right? Verse 13, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart. Brother ain't gonna be envious no more covetous. And they that harass Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah. Judah shall not vex Ephraim. This is a family connection where X marks the spot, two cross sticks coming back together. Verse 14, and they shall fly down upon the shoulder of the Philistines on the west. Together they shall spoil the children of the east. They shall put forth their hand upon Edom and Moab. That's crazy. Because Edom, Moab, and the Ishmaelites, Hagarites, Gebal, and Ammon, and Philistia, and Assyria work together, just like they do today with the children of Lot. Moab, Edom, yep. Hold not your peace, HAWAH, your enemies, Moab, Edom, Ishmaelites, your enemies are in an uproar. They that hate you, Moab, Edom, Ishmaelites, they that hate you have lifted up their haughty head. They hold crafty converse against your people. The Creator has a people, yeah. And take counsel against your treasured ones. HAWAH has ones that HAWAH treasures. They have said, cut, and let us cut them off from being a nation. Yes, the ones that hate HAWAH have cut us off from being a nation. So that you call yourself black, not Hasharah. And we are no more in remembrance. We don't remember where we come from. We don't remember we're already home. That's some real sick witchcraft. And they consulted together with one consent against us. Do they make a covenant against you, HAWAH? Against the Creator do they make a covenant? Who? Edom, Moab, Ishmaelites. They shall put forth their hand upon Edom and Moab. I'm just saying a time when, HAWAH gathers Judah, brings the tribe together, Ephraim. We no longer jamming each other up. And we fly down upon the shoulder of the Philistines. Together, we gonna spoil the children of the east. We gonna put forth our hand upon Edom and Moab, man. And the children of Ammon gonna obey us. Because they have said, come, let's cut them off from being a nation. And HAWAH will utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea. And with his scorching wind will he shake his hand over the river and will smite it into 7 streams and cause men to march over dry shod. And there shall be a highway for the remnant of his people that shall remain from Assyria, like as there was for Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. Wow! And in that day thou shalt say, I will give thanks unto HAWAH. You, HAWAH. Verse chapter 12. I will give thanks unto HAWAH. For though thou wast angry with me, thine anger is turned away. And thou comforted me. For though you were angry with me, your anger is turned away. And you are comfort. You comfort me, man. That's all we ask for, man. For HAWAH to turn away, you know what I'm saying, the anger and comfort us. So behold, verse 2, HAWAH is my salvation. I will trust and will not be afraid, for HAWAH is my strength and song. He is become my salvation. Therefore, with joy shall you draw water out of the wells of salvation. And in that day shall you say, give thanks unto HAWAH, proclaim his name, declare his doings among the people. Make mention that his name is exalted. Sing unto HAWAH, for he hath done gloriously. This is made known in all the earth. Cry aloud and shout, thou inhabitant of Zion, for great is the Holy One of Israel in the midst of thee. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amoz did see, let's get it, set you up an ensign upon the holy mountain, high mountain. Lift up the voice unto them. Wave the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my consecrated ones. Yea, I have called my mighty ones for mine anger. Even my proudly exalted ones. Hark, a tumult in the mountains like as of a great people. Hark, the uproar of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. HAWAH of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even HAWAH, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole earth. Who is this? Howl ye, for the day of HAWAH is at hand, as destruction from the Almighty shall it come. Therefore shall all hands be slack, and every heart of man shall melt, that they shall be affrighted. Pangs and throes shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman in travail. They shall look aghast one at another. Their faces shall be faces of flame. Behold, the day of HAWAH comes, cruel and full of wrath and fierce anger, to make the earth a desolation and to destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So with all this stuff going down in the so-called Middle East, Russia saying this, China saying that, behold, the day of HAWAH comes. They just acting it out. But the day of HAWAH comes, 2026 Jubilee. Free the slaves from captivity. Full of wrath and fierce anger, to make the earth a desolation and to destroy the hijack out of it, man. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will visit upon the world their evil, and upon the wicked their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the tyrants. And I will make man more rare than fine gold, even man than the pure gold of Ophir. Therefore I will make the heavens to tremble, and the earth shall be shaken out of her place. They're talking about all these fault lines and volcanoes and activity and geomagnetic storms. For the wrath of HAWAH of hosts, and for the day of his fierce anger, it shall come to pass that as the chaste gazelle, and as sheep that no man gathereth, they shall turn every man to his own people, and shall flee every man to his own land. But what land do the Hijacks really got, right? Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is caught shall fall by the sword. Their own devices gonna get them. Their babies also shall be dashed in pieces before their eyes, because our babies were dashed in pieces before our own eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, who shall not regard silver as for gold, and as for gold they shall not delight in it. They can't buy their way out of this whooping. What's coming on in? Don't care about gold or silver, man. And their bows shall dash the young men in pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of their womb. Their eyes shall not spare children, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' pride, shall be as when HAWAH overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their foes there, but wild cats shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of ferrets, and ostriches shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, man. Jackals shall howl in their castles, wild dogs in the pleasant places. And her time is near come, and her days shall not be prolonged. HAWAH. Oh, I love this one, man. For HAWAH will have compassion on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the stranger shall join himself with them. Yeah, they're going to try to cleave to our house, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of HAWAH for servants and handmaids, yeah, for slaves. Every kingdom in history got servants, right? So-called slaves, right? So don't be dismayed. Every kingdom got slaves. How do you treat your slaves? How do you treat your servants? How do you treat those that are there just to serve, you know what I'm saying, you, your house? Are they really there to serve the Creator? Because these type of servants that we gonna have are really gonna be there to serve HAWAH. They're not gonna be your typical save me slave. They're gonna be like, man, I just want to do anything I can for the Creator and the Creator's people, the tribe. Just point me in the right direction. That type of servant right there. That's the only thing we're gonna accept. They're gonna be so happy to serve in the house of HAWAH. Hey, it's much better than serving on a plantation in Alabama. We ain't talking whips and chains, chattel slavery. We're talking about serving in the house of HAWAH. And your heart gotta be in this. And I don't care if you bloodline Judah. I don't care if you are the remnant. Your heart got to be in this. We too are serving in the house. We serve in our own house every day. You got a family, you got a wife, you got a husband, you got children. Serving ain't nothing new. We do it naturally. And for the Creator, we do it naturally. And the people shall take them, bring them in their own place, and the house of Israel shall possess them, and the land of HAWAH for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. I love this one. But this don't come without you KTC, MHOE, keeping the code most high over everything. Rule number 1, you know. Verse 3, Isaiah 14, and it shall come to pass in that day that HAWAH shall give thee rest from thy travail, and from that Jacob's trouble that we read about in Jeremiah 30. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it, and it is a time of trouble unto Jacob, but out of it he shall be saved. By who? Jesus? Nah. The rapture? Nah. HAWAH says HAWAH, I will break his yoke from off his neck. I will burst his bands. And strangers shall no more make him their slave. So now in Isaiah 14, you are now ruling over your oppressors. You ruling over your oppressors. You taking them captives who captives you were. You are possessing them in the land for slaves. And it shall come to pass in that day that HAWAH shall give you rest, man. Because you've been serving for so long. Been serving this hijack in your house. Now you got the hijack to serve your house. But the righteous hijack, the most righteous of righteous hijack. And you're going to be given rest from all your problems, my noggin. From all your trouble, my noggin. And from the hard service you was made to serve. That thou shalt take up this parable against Donald Trump, king of Babylon, and say, how has the oppressor ceased? Nah, man, I don't know if Donald Trump's the king of Babylon, but, I know he's going to play his position, man. Whoever's behind the scenes, white pope, black pope, gray pope, this family, that family, whoever this king of Babylon is, man, probably looks just like you and me. Talk just like you and me. It's crazy, right? The truth sounds stranger than fiction. But we're going to holler at this noggin, man, and say, how has the oppressor ceased? The exactress of gold ceased. HAWAH has broken the staff of the wicked. The scepter of the rulers that smote the people in wrath with an incessant stroke, that ruled the nations in anger with the persecution that none restrain. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, the cypresses rejoice at thee, the cedars of Lebanon, since thou art laid down, no felon is come up against us. The nether world from beneath is moved for thee. To meet thee at thy coming, the shades are stirred up for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. All the kings of the nations are raised up from their thrones. All they do answer and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? I thought y'all was big time. I thought y'all was big timers. Are y'all just like us? Are y'all weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Thy pomp, all your haughty eye, Charles pompness, all your pomp, all that hate that you lifted up your head with, all those crafty converses against HAWAH's people, all that counsel against HAWAH's treasured ones. Thy pomp is brought down to the netherworld, and the noise of thy psalteries, the maggot, is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven? O you day star, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground that didst cast lots over the nations? Shit, they said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, so the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. And thou said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. NASA, I said, NASA, above the stars of HAWAH will I exalt my throne, and will sit upon the mount of meeting in the uttermost parts of the north. Are we talking about the North Pole? Tree of life? They call it the mountain of meeting? Uh-oh. Flat Drop 101. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to the netherworld, to the uttermost parts of the pit, Hijacks city. They that saw thee do narrowly look upon you. They gaze earnestly at you. Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroy the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? Shout out to the prisoners behind the wall. We do it for you. Free the knockers. All the kings of the nations, all of them sleep in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast forth away from thy grave like an abhorred offshoot in the raiment of the slain, that are thrust through with the sword, that go down to the pavement of the pit as a carcass trodden under foot. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land, thou hast slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall not be named forever. Prepare you slaughter for his children. For the iniquity of their fathers, that they rise not up and possess the earth, and fill the face of the world with cities. And I will rise up against them, says HAWAH, and cut off from Babylon name and remnant, an offshoot and offspring, says HAWAH. And I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water. I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, says HAWAH. HAWAH has sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass. And as I have purposed, so shall it stand, that I will break Asher in my hand, in my land, and upon my mountains tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulder. This is the purpose that is purposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all the nations. For HAWAH has purposed, and who shall disannul it? And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back? In the year that King Ahaz died was this burden. Rejoice not, O Philistia, all of thee, because the rod that smote thee is broken. For out of the serpent's root shall come forth a basilisk, and his fruit shall be a flying dragon. unless you want us to believe a snake is flying in the air. Yeah, we're talking Drakan. And the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and the needy shall lie down in safety. And I will kill thy root with famine, and thy remnant shall be slain. How, O gate? Cry, O city. Melt away, O Philistia, all of thee. For there comes a smoke out of the north, and there is no straggler in his ranks. When then shall one answer the messengers of the nation, that HAWAH has found Zion, and in her shall the afflicted of his people take refuge? Allow, wow. Oh, Moabites, I told you we come. Cause it's a more and more war. The burden of Moab. For in the night that Ar of Moab is laid waste, he is brought to ruin. For in the night that Curve Moab is laid waste, he is brought to ruin. He is gone up to Baith and to Debon, to the high places, to weep upon Nebo, upon Medeba. Moab howleth. On all their heads is baldness. Every beard is shaven. In their streets they gird themselves with sackcloth on their housetops, and in their broad places everyone howls, weeping profusely. In Heshbon cried out, and Elilah, their voice is heard even unto Jahaz. Therefore the armed man of Moab cry aloud. His soul is faint within him. My heart cry out for Moab. Her fugitives reach unto Zoar, a heifer of 3 years, for by the ascent of Lahith, with weeping they go up, for in the way of Horonaim they raise up a cry of destruction. For the waters of Nimrin shall be desolate, for the grass is withered away. The herbage faileth, there is no green thing, therefore the abundance they have gotten, and that which they have laid up shall be carried away to the brook of the willows. For the cry is gone round about the borders of Moab, the howling thereof of Eglaim, and the howling thereof of Beer Elim. For the waters of Damon are full of blood. Damon sounds like demon. Yeah, they been on demon time, Moab. They that hate HAWAH have lifted up their hair. a lion upon him that escapes of Moab, and upon the remnant of the land. This is all about the land. Chapter 16. Send you the lambs for the ruler of the land, from the crags that are toward the wilderness unto the mount of the daughter of Zion. For it shall be that as wandering birds at scattering nests, so shall the daughters of Moab be at the fords of Arnon. Arnon is Antioch. They changed all the Arnons, the Anions to Arnon. So they added that R, but it's still Anon or Antioch. Give counsel, execute justice, make thy shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday. Hide the outcast, betray not the fugitive. Let mine outcast dwell with thee, as for Moab. Be thou a covert to him from the face of the spoiler, for the extortion is at an end, spoiling ceaseth. No more extorting us, Moab. Behind the scenes is a Moabite extorting us. Where our taxes go to, where these quadrillion dollars of so-called NASA space programs, when they're really on a flat plane and they're going nowhere, boss. Where's that going? That's extortion. Spoiling ceaseth, that they trample down, they that trample down are consumed out of the land, and the throne is established through mercy. And there sitteth thereon in truth, in the tent of David. I can't make this up. It don't say JC. Because we know they shall serve HAWAH and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. So fear not, Jacob, says HAWAH, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save you. Who? JC? Christian? What? If Jesus was supposed to save us, man, the prophets would be prophesying about JC. He ain't nowhere in the Tanahk. Nowhere. It's all about the Creator coming to save his children, her children. Big Mama coming to save her children. Pop's coming to save his children. I will save you from afar. I will save you. And I will save your children. I will save your seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall again be chilling, man, quiet and at ease, and no one shall make him afraid. Not even the crafty converse and the counsel against HAWAH's treasure ones, HAWAH's people. We can now be a nation because no one wants to cut us off. Because we are free. Our name is free. Our memory is free. And there sitteth thereon in truth in the tent of David, one that judgeth and seeks justice, is ready in righteousness. We have heard of the pride of Moab, yeah. He is very proud, even his haughtiness and his pride and arrogancy, his ill-founded boastings. Therefore shall Moab wail for Moab, and everyone shall wail for the sweet cakes of Ker Hareseth. Shall you mourn, sorely stricken, for the fields of Heshbon languish, and the vine of Sibmah, whose choice plants did overcome, the lords of nations. They reached even unto Jazer. They wandered into the wilderness. Her branches were spread abroad. They passed over the sea. Therefore I will weep with the weeping of Jazer. For the vine of Sibmah, I will water thee with my tears. O Heshbon and Eliela, for upon thy summer fruits and upon thy harvest the battle shout is fallen, and gladness and joy are taken away out of the field, the fruitful field, and in the vineyards there shall be no singing, neither shall there be shouting, nor treader shall tread out wine in the presses. I have made the vintage shout to cease, wherefore my heart moaneth like a harp for Moab, and mine inward parts for Ker-Herez. And it shall come to pass, when it is seen that Moab hath wearied himself upon the high place, that he shall come to his sanctuary to pray, but he shall not prevail. This is the word HAWAH speaks concerning Moab in time past. But now HAWAH has spoken, saying, within 3 years, listen up, Moab. I know it sounded bad, but remember, you are of Shem. You are a seed, connected with Abraham through Lot. HAWAH even has mercy on you. When you keep the code, hearken, observe, and put the Most High over everything. HAWAH says within 3 years, as the years of a hireling, and the glory of Moab shall wax contemptible for all his great multitude, and the remnant shall be very small and without strength. So even you are not utterly destroyed, Moab. There is a remnant. That's the good news. Will you be one of the strangers that cleaves to the house of Jacob, or will you be so vexed and covetous and murderous that you get annihilated by HAWAH? Or will you be the remnant that's very small, but never will you have strength over us again? Tanahk only sessions come. Allow, 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 wow. Hey, vibe up, my niggas. Tribe up. Moab, Edom, Ishmael. Remember, my noggin, man, you already home. Utah is Arizona, is Colorado, is Nevada. These old maps, it is all Judah. We're just talking about the earlier form, HAWAH. Judah is Judah. Yeah. Judah. And it's all about the con, man. You got Kansas. You got Wisconsin. You got Michigan. You got Kentucky. You got Oregon, which is Oregon. Oh, yeah. You even got a spot called India, man. Con. You see these Moabites, man, you know. Let's talk about the Moabites for the dismount, man. Because we see them on the map, so we might as well talk about it, man. We see it on the maps. Where's my map? We see it on the map, man. We see what's happening with Morocco, near Kentucky, Indianapolis, Indiana, Illinois. You see how they established themselves right here, the Moorish Science Temple, right? We are talking about Morocco in America. Let's go. It's an American national religious organization founded by noble Jew Ali Timothy Drew. Early 20th century, he based it on the premise that African Americans are descendants of Moabite. So you're saying all Americans are Moabites? Or do Moabites want to take over America for Ham and Kush? And what about Shem? Ain't y'all Shem? And thus Moorish by nationality and Islamic by faith. Ali put together elements of traditional traditions to develop a message of personal transformation through historical education, racial pride, spiritual uplift. So they create a black hole to make all these African Americans feel like they are Moors. The Moorish history, but they give them only a quarter of the equation. They don't let them know that the same spot, this Udall, it's not a Moorish thing. And they set up shop right here with their Morocco, right? Moorish Science Temple. But the spot of Udall, well, that's where they put Prester John on the MS map in 1530 in the British Museum. And they called America India Superior, not North America. So before you hijack India Superior with Morocco, are you telling me Prester John is a Moabite? Or did y'all covet the house of Israel, of Judah, of Judah? I'm talking Prester John. Who is Prester John? Emperado de los Abyssinios. I'll be seeing you. In Asia Major. Ain't no North America here, boss. It's all this Morocco. Is all this the land of Moabites, Ham and Kush? Y'all don't do it for Shem. Y'all serve Egypt. Y'all serve the pharaohs, right? Only with permission of the pharaoh can you migrate, right? But what about HAWAH? Did you forget HAWAH? Because HAWAH ain't forgot y'all. We just read in Isaiah 16, even the remnant of Moab won't have strength but will be saved, right? What about HAWAH? And the people of HAWAH found in India superior, Cathay, Calfness, original China, original Japan, Florida balls. Because the Chinese sail upon this ocean. Who is President John? Is he a Moabite too? Because he sure is on the maps. So all African Americans are now Moabites. You see the black hole Islamic. You can't be Israelite no more. What happened to Jacob? They have consulted together so the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So now everybody's a Moabite, right? Right, Timothy Drew? African Americans are from Morocco? Which one, man? Which one, man? By the Kankakee? Kentucky? Asiatics? Which one? North America Asiatics? I'm just saying, boss. I'm just saying which one. By the time we wake up and ask which one, HAWAH said y'all gonna be all done with these schemes and exploitation. Y'all gonna be all done with this crap. You ain't gonna have strength. But man, no more schemes. No more extortion. No more spoiling. No more trampling down our land. Consuming our land with your harmonics. 440 hertz. Infinity loop. And a throne is established through mercy, and there sits the wrong in truth in the tent of David, one who judges. If you ain't down with David, Moab, say la vie, man. We know you very proud, but you didn't have to set up shop right here and claim America as Morocco and all African Americans, the Moorish Science Temple at Pembroke, old African American town, and now they're all Moabites, according to Noble Drew Ali.
Live in California? Left the accent?
Yeah, I do live in Cali. That's crazy. It's crazy you mentioned that. How Queen Khalifa was connected with the king of Judah, David, side by side. Side by side. That is crazy. That is crazy. Now that you mention it. Wow. Hey. There's only one way out, Moab, is keeping the code. Remembering HAWAH again. Because this federation, y'all got this confederacy, Psalms 83. This crafty converse. Empire of the Moors. The Moors were people who lived in Morocco. That's the reason they called it that. The word Moor meant black. Moor just means more. Give me more spaghetti. Give me more. I want more land, right? Who's the more? Me or you? I'll wait. Who has more by birthright? They want us to think it just means black. In ancient times, all Africans were called Ethiopians or Kushites. All these are generic terms. And in the Middle Ages, the Africans were called Moor. The word Moor literally means black. So the Moorish people were the black people. See this black hole? So if you black, you Moor. But these blacks don't even think about the tribe it's connected to being Moabite. They just get wrapped up in the religious faith of Islam. They get saved in the jails. Man, my niggas in Chicago didn't even have a chance. Because they set up shop right in Illinois. All this is the headquarters of Morocco. Mauritania. But they got that by stealing the land from Tecumseh at Tippecanoe in the War of 1812, in the Fort Wayne Treaty, when Ishmael was migrating. I'll leave this link, man, but this is their story, man. Yeah, more. Mauritania, a region of northern Africa corresponding to parts of Morocco and Algeria. Interesting, the geography when you think about the Algiers, the Algiers Peninsula, connected with Louisiana, you know what I mean? And, all these names, now that you know that Morocco's here, according to them. And Africa is also generic because you could be talking east, west, we'll get it. Let's go. Yeah, man. Ham and Kush. They want everything as the Moroccan Empire. Ham is everything in America, for real. No Jacob, no Udall, no Prester John. Seems like a takeover, huh? Morocco. And notice the geography with Morocco and Algeria being beneath it. Similar to how they got Morocco and all this connected with Illinois, Chicago, and beneath, right, the South, you got the Louisiana and Algiers Point situation. I'm just saying. Algiers Point neighborhood in New Orleans. We did a whole drop on Algiers Point. Go get the drop. So there's an Algiers in America and a Morocco. One is above the other. Right. One is above the other. And you got Tunisia Or you got Tennessee. Uh-oh. Tunisia or Tennessee? Huh? I'll wait. Yeah, you got Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky. And here's Tennessee. Louisiana, Algiers Point here. Same geography, man. And of course, you got the Atlas situation. And of course, the Atlas connects with the Zeus situation. Atlantis situation. Yep. And don't in Chicago, they got the 6 stars and the 5 stars, right? GDBD. 5 stars for Morocco. Do you know? So when you're rocking these things, my niggas out there, you don't even know the history that's going behind it, but you thinking there is no other way. This must be you. And I'm saying this is representing the hijack of us. Because they planted it on top of us and changed the harmonics and do the 350-mile Hajj around this triangle, forming their Mecca, Morocco, and Muhammad in the promised land. Moab in it. I said Moab in it. Moab in it. Ishmael in it. I can't make this up. In India Superior, Cathay, Gestalt map, 1548. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. It appears Ishmael is migrating between 1785 and 1905 during the heart of the Chickamauga Cherokee bloodshed genocide massacre. They're coming in. Who would come in during the massacre? Who would come in during an ice age? Because this is all during the so-called Little Ice Age, when America was the coldest record temperature of all time. Cold, glaciers, ice. Who would come in during the ice age when the land is being cursed? Who would migrate when we are being slaughtered? Only those who know they won't be slaughtered, because it's Ishmael. And they set up shop where X marks the spot. Research the Battle of Tippecanoe and get back to me, where Tecumseh's brother, Ten HAWAH, was snuck up on and murdered, and they waged war while Tecumseh was away to make a treaty and make allies to gather his own tribe, not with the hijack, to gather his tribe. While he's trying to get allies to fight the hijack, they wage war on his brother, known as the Prophet, in Prophet's Town, right here in Tippecanoe. Then they set up shop, Morocco, after slaughtering the Chickamauga Cherokee, the indigenous. Morocco came with bloodshed. They're not native here. But they want it for Ham and Kush. Morocco. Algiers. Tennessee. Look at the geography. What does Atlas got to do with what they worship? The pharaohs of Egypt, Atlantis. The 5-pointed star, 6-pointed star, GDBD is their ritual. Come up out of it, my niggas. This is not you. You are not a Moabite. And you don't know when you are claiming these things that you're representing the tribe of Moab in them. But that's not your tribe. You're not Islamic by nature. You're Islamic by takeover. We're not Christian by nature. We're Christian by takeover. We are the seeds of HAWAH. We are the treasured ones. That they came and said, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance. They have consulted together with one consent. Against you do they make a covenant, my nigga. Yeah, the tents of Edom and Ishmael in them, and Moab in them, and Moab in them. It's a more and more war. But who's the great? Who's greater? HAWAH's treasured ones or these hijacks? Man, and this Mauritania, man, and Morocco, it just reminds me of this Mali Timbuktu situation. Say it with me, cons, for old time's sake. Hyborian, y'all remember this? Straight off the balcony. The Hyborian war map, man. Kind of looks like a Pangaea situation. You got what looks like Africa connected with South America. Look how huge South America is. Right here, you got Thothamon spell barrier. Ooh, don't go past this area. Was it connected with the Amazon? Amazonia. Black Kingdoms, Black Coast. Man, very interesting map. They say it was a reality simulation in Arizona, huh? We're talking Mauritania, Mali, and right here you got Timbuktu or Timbuktu. Next to Kush, Meroe, Egypt, or what's called Stagia, where you got Luxor, right? So all this is Egypt, man. Haunted pyramids, all connected in its rightful place in America. Grand Canyon style. Con. Yeah, you know, just the Mali situation. A lot of it connects to ancient India Superior. What they call Africa is over here. You got Kush over here. You got Punt over here. Egypt over here. Darfur underneath Shem. 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 Underneath Ophir. Underneath the Piglands. We got to get that Pigland series. Right, Aquatabesa. I got you, man. It's going to come at the perfect time. Here you got Pigland divided into 12 tribes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You got Samaria, Northern Lands, Southern Clans. Asgard, man. So really paying attention to this Timbuktu. And this Mali. And how they keep saying that the Americas are, you know, Ham and Kush. Kush over there and Father Ham instead of Shem. This is all about Ham. This is the takeover so that we are no longer in remembrance. This is the cutting off of being a nation. Just look at their indoctrination. Look at their maps. Ham, Kush. They're just trapped in the insular worlds. The Mediterranean Sea was all they knew before they finally got out when Atlantis sunk. They finally crossed and found the Great Sea. But they've been a thorn in our side no matter what map you're looking at. Next to Judah. And the Dead Sea is the Great Salt Lake. Utah. I said, Utah. Look out for the series Mormons Digging Deeper, only on Patreon. Because these Moabites and them always been connected with Judah, right? So how can they X us out and act like we don't exist and everything's about Ham and Kush, Ham and Kush? Ham and Kush, Ham and Kush. When they tell on themselves, because there's an untold hush-hush history about these Moors. They want to claim North, Central, South America, Mexico as Moors, right? Not as indigenous Hebrews, Israelites, Judah, Ephraim, Manasseh. We don't count. Ham and Kush, Ham and Kush. So they give you half-truth while talking about our greatness of the real Moor, of the land of Prester John. Prester John in India Superior is now a part of Morocco to them. Not telling us that North and South America is still Africa, Southwest Africa, Northwest Africa, or a Mexican, or a Mexican. They want everyone to fall under their more titled Northwest Africa situation. Northwest Africa. Northwest Africa is North America, but they won't tell us that. It's a hush-hush secret. Because they want it for Ham and Kush. Ham and Kush. Ham and Kush, man. Y'all see clearly. Cathay is Cateo. Cateo. Now we're talking Kapangu, Japan, Cathay, Cathay. This is China, original Marco Polo China, Asia Major. And it's Greenland, the Silk Road. It's Greenland, the Silk Road, connecting us and Scotland. And is that why they say the Andrews are connected with the Scottish? But we still talking Israel. Because we are literally connected with Scotland. Is this the Silk Road? The King's Road? The Queen's Road? The investigation continues, man. They want us to believe, man, that this is what they write, right? The true greatness of the Moorish culture is not generally known even to the educated classes of the Western world. I wonder why. Because you're giving us half-truth, forked tongue truths, serpent truths. Of the conquest and expulsion of the Moors, Lane Poole wrote, in 1492, the last bulwark of the Moors gave way before the crusade of Ferdinand and Isabella. And with Granada fell all Spain's greatness for a brief while. Indeed, the reflection of the Moorish splendor cast a borrowed light upon the history of the land which it had once warmed with its sunny radiance. The great epic, right? So they're big upping these people. Listen who they big up. The great epic of Isabella. Ferdinand and Isabella, right? Charles V. Haughty-eyed Charles, who hijacked the Inca, hijacked the indigenous. Still in Naga, Black Charles in 1500s, while Columbus sails the ocean blue in 1492. Doom Diversus is 1452. All these are niggas invading the Nagas. And Philip II of Columbus, Cortez, and Pizarro shed a last hollow about the dying moments of the mighty state. Then followed the abomination of desolation, the rule of the Inquisition, and the blackness of darkness in which Spain has been plunged ever since, because they want the Spanish to remain black. Following the expulsion of 1610 was the documented beginning of the English slave trade with the Jamestown settlement in 1619. By 1611, King James authorized the version of the Bible. It is interesting that the book that has been used to save and enslave millions was completed a year after the Moors' expulsion from Spain. What's even more interesting is that how can you be expunged from Spain and still be setting up shop at the same damn time? You're expunged from Spain, huh? Oh, the Moors are expunged, but we got Morocco, Mecca, all right here. How does their expunging you lead to you invading us? On the head bone of Dragon Canoe, Tecumseh, and the Shikwamako Cherokee. Whose side are you on? You can't have it both ways and say you from Morocco over there and then say you from Morocco over here, and you ain't choosing sides on the Moor War and the Battle of the Tippecanoe, where X marks the spot. Where X marks the spot, you're going to have to tell us whose side are you on anyway. The treasure was? Or Moab in it? Moab in it. The Moor. Moab in it. The Moorish Science Temple at Pembroke. Tribe of Ishmael. Invading during our invasion is crazy. Crazy. Hey, HAWAH, man, we did it again. We did it again, my Nagas, we did it again. We see clearly, you know. And they'll come very proud and haughty, arrogant, boasting. All these things they boasted, right? Yeah, man, we taught them how to do this and that, you know. Our buildings, our great mosque, you know what I'm saying? We taught them culture, man. Educated classes of the Western world. Man. Astronomical observatories, man. Look at all the stuff we did. Look at our army, man. Look at all the places we've been. Education was universal in Moorish Spain. So get your ass back to Spain. And you can't claim Morocco here and Morocco there. And if you're claiming Morocco here, you're going to get this work. Because that means you were against the Tecumseh, against the Hebrews, against Jacob, against the treasure one. If you claim Morocco there, you still going to get this work. because you were part of the lie of being exposed, expunged, and kicked out of Spain. You were part of the invasion of Charles V, haughty eyes. That's your big homie. Brag about your cities. Brag about your homes and schools and colleges. All you want. Brag about your marble, your scarlet and grand structures. Oh. You educated everybody. Ill-found boastings. Therefore shall Moab wail for Moab. And us, we won't be dismayed. For HAWAH is with us, says HAWAH, to save us. For I will make a full end of all the nations whither I have scattered you, but I will not make a full end of you, for I will correct you in measure and will not utterly destroy you. For thus says HAWAH, your hurt is incurable, and your wound is grievous. None deemeth of thy wound that it may be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicine. All your lovers have forgotten you. They seek you not. For I have wounded you with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the greatness of your iniquity, because your sins were increased. That's why you got lifted up, Moab. Not because of your greatness, but because Israel's sins were increased. Don't brag about your greatness. Don't be haughty. Don't be proud. Why criest thou for your hurt, that your pain is incurable? For the greatness of your iniquity, because your sins were increased, I have done these things unto you. Therefore all they that devour you shall be devoured. And all your adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. Moab, Ishmael, Edom. And they that spoil you shall be a spoil. And all that prey upon you will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto you, and I will heal you of your wounds, Israel, says HAWAH, because they have called thee an outcast, right? She is Zion. There is none that cares for her. But thus says HAWAH, behold, I will turn the captivity of Jacob's tents, and have compassion on his dwelling places, and the city shall be built upon her own mound, and the palace shall be inhabited upon its wonted place. Tanahk only sessions. Allow. Say it with me. Wow. Shalom. Khan Dynasty. Stay up. Suit up. Choose up. Dawa da. Who oh who? It's Presta Child. Tribe up, vibe up, rise up, keep the water flowing, keep the fire burning, and keep the cold drop nation.